Hi everyone, I'm here today to introduce you to our brand new Setup and Go campaign toolkit. I'm very excited to introduce this to all of you today because it's our very first resource which focuses on ergonomics. Our goal for creating this toolkit was to provide you with something that you could roll out easily. And so we have compiled a series of resources and templates to make it as easy as possible for your department to prioritize ergonomics. And now more than ever, it's a hot topic for a lot of departments, especially those that have converted to a telecommute workforce. So with that in mind, I wanted to introduce a caveat. A lot of the components built into this toolkit are created with an employee who uses a desk in mind. And so for those that are in an office space and for those that have converted to a telecommute workforce, this is the toolkit for you. This is the first page of the toolkit. And through this presentation, I'm going to take you through all of the different pages and reinforce some of the components that you'll find in this toolkit. So on this first page, it talks a little bit about why ergonomics is important and how we've kind of broken down ergonomics through this toolkit. We have two components in the ergonomics program that we want you to roll out. So the first is setup. And this is really talking about supporting ergonomic awareness training and ensuring a proper ergonomic setup that fits each unique individual's needs. And so this is really about giving people access to resources. Specifically, we will be prioritizing a training, and we'll get to that, so that they can set up their workspace with an understanding of ergonomics and why they should set up their workspace in that particular way. The second is Go, and this is about emphasizing the importance of taking active breaks throughout the workday and really providing employees with language that supports them doing so. On this particular page of the toolkit, you'll notice that why ergonomics is underlined. Every place in the toolkit where you see something underlined, it means it's an active link and it leads to something. So for this page, when you click on why ergonomics, it will take you to a PDF. And the PDF looks like this. So this actually provides you with research that supports ergonomics at the workplace and reinforces the importance of really prioritizing ergonomics as a safety and health measure for all of your employees. And this particular document might be most useful for sharing with leadership as you start to dig into opportunities where they can support what you end up rolling out for your ergonomics awareness program. So when we talk about the toolkit components, we have two objectives today. The first is that we provide you with tools so that you can promote and provide resources that will inform and support proper desk setup. So this is all the setup pieces. The second is to remind and encourage active breaks throughout the workday, and that's your go. So here we go. We're about to talk about setup and go so that you can promote ergonomics at your workplace. We'll go through three different components to help you engage employees in ergonomics. The first is developing a communication strategy. The second is implementing ergonomic awareness resources. And the third is promoting active breaks. And the toolkit takes you through each of those components. So to roll out your Setup and Go campaign, you will be provided with template communications, print and media promotional tools, virtual and printable awareness resources, and then active break ideas. When you're thinking about developing a communication strategy, you want to first identify the communications platforms that can reach everyone or a large amount of employees within your workforce. So you really want to think about, are you tapping into shared folders on the platforms that you might use, including Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive? How are you using department-wide emails, and how can you embed messages of ergonomics? If you have an intranet where you typically post policies, how can you incorporate these ergonomics messages? Because this does tie into your health and safety policy efforts. If you have a newsletter, are you carving out space for well-being, and how can you fold in ergonomics and active break ideas? How can you use your social media efforts? All of these different resources provide an excellent opportunity for you to reinforce messages around ergonomics. And for those of you who are essential departments still reporting to the workplace, I also encourage you to use your bulletin boards and to use your digital display boards so that as people are navigating through the workspace and going about their day, they are seeing visuals that also reinforce ergonomics. When you're thinking about how often you communicate and the frequency of these messages, we want you to think about the rule of 7. So in marketing, they believe that a person or an individual needs to see something at least 7 times before they actually pay attention or take any action. And so when you first roll out your ergonomics campaign, we want you to take a weekly approach to just elevate what ergonomics is and how the department is committed to providing proper ergonomics for all employees. So we want you to send weekly reminders for Setup and Go for the first 4 to 6 weeks when you roll this out. And we're going to provide you with templates so that you can do that. Once your launch is done, we want you to think about active break reminders being promoted on a monthly basis and self-assessment reminders being promoted on a quarterly basis. And these self-assessment reminders are very important because these are the reminders that tell people to check in on what their ergonomic setup looks like and have they lost some of the components of ergonomics that they had implemented shortly after they took the self-awareness training. Additionally, we want departments to reinforce their commitment to employee well-being through ergonomics. And so this is a really great opportunity for the launch of your Setup and Go campaign to come as a director's message. This is an excellent opportunity for you to pull some of the content from that Why Ergonomics document so that you can reinforce the director's message with research to let people know that this is something that the department is prioritizing and it's research-based. Additionally, you can promote the ergonomics awareness training, which we'll talk about later, in your newsletter. You can also reach out to the executive leader who supports policies in your department to ask them to send a monthly email reminder that enforces the self-assessment tools or the movement breaks. And then lastly, you want to also think about, are you going to be receiving any new employees, and how will you fold in ergonomics messages into their orientation to your department? So those are all ways that you can reinforce the department's commitment to well-being through ergonomics. When you're thinking about rolling out the campaign, we want to make it as easy as possible. And so we provided you with some template reminder emails and then also some visuals that you can share with your employees. So the template reminder emails will be a Word document. And this is the Word document. You'll see the template up here on the top of the Word document. And then in each of these highlighted sections, you would choose the setup tip and the movement idea that would be most meaningful or relevant to your department. So down below, we provide you with a series of content for setup reminders, and then also further down below, we provide you with some movement ideas. And that is what you pick and pull from. You can use this on all of the different communications platforms that you end up using to communicate ergonomics at your workplace. Secondly, we also have a series of visuals. So we have table tents. These are smaller printouts that you can fold up, and then it acts as a reminder that you can place on your desk. Alternatively, we have your standard flyers, and this is content that you could post up on a wall near your desk or workspace. And then if you have a bulletin board, again, we have content that you can print out. It's an 11 by 17 document, and it reinforces the messages around setup and go. The ergonomics awareness resources that we want you to promote are the tangible experiences that people can have in learning what ergonomics is and how it's applicable and adaptable to them. So we want you to promote the completion of the SF Learning Ergonomics online training. This is 30 minutes. It's available through the SF portal, the employee portal, and it's a webinar-based format that guides participants to understand how to set up their workspace for proper ergonomics. This is something that you might talk to leadership about, making this a requirement for employees who sit at their desk for more than 4 hours each day. For those individuals, this becomes really important and can provide them with awareness through visual cues that are offered in the training. Alternatively, and also as a form of maintenance for those who take the online training, you can pass out the self-assessment checklist. This is a PDF-based tool which offers a checklist that can assess an individual's current setup, support proper body mechanics, and optimize ergonomics. So, once you set up your desk space, it's easy to forget what you learned and how you set things up properly because things move around. And so this is a really great tool to revisit so that you can reinforce how you originally set up your space and bring it back to ergonomic correctness. The second piece to set up and go is that go component. And so this is where we talk about active breaks. Similarly, we offer a series of active break tools. So this is a movement break handout that folks can have at their desk, or you can also provide the recharge stretch guide. These are all downloadable PDFs, which you can share with your workforce. The third piece, which is meeting energizer guide, is something that you can share with leadership. So for those who host meetings regularly, one of the easiest ways to reinforce the concept around taking active breaks is to fold them into the meetings that you host. And so this meeting energizer guide actually provides really easy ideas to implement in person or virtually so that you can fold in those active movement breaks or activities. We know that a lot of our workforce transition to working from home due to shelter in place. And so we also wanted to highlight some work from home tools. The first is a work from home healthy habits guide, which provides some creative solutions around using existing resources found in common households. And it also offers healthy habit ideas for well-being that can help you to navigate, being at home and still practicing the healthy habits that you built at work. Secondly, we also have our Navigating Working from Home webinar, which is actually developed from the Department of Human Resources. This is a 30-minute webinar offered on a monthly basis, and it's something that people can tap into as a 30-minute webinar to learn a little bit more about how to manage some of the challenges tied to remote working environments. And that does include ergonomics. And so it's a nice way to kind of capture all of those healthy habits in one place and to just feel like you're a part of the community that might be going through some of the challenges with working from home, that including ergonomics. For those participants that take part in the Navigating Working from Home webinar, they are also going to be sent a series of resources to reinforce what they learn in the webinar. And one of those resources is the Work from Home Healthy Habits Guide. And so they'll get that. So that's our toolkit. And for additional support with the Setup and Go toolkit, I encourage you to reach out to well-being at sfgov.org. For more information on ergonomics, please go to sfhss.org/setup and go. And we will continuously be updating that website with additional resources. So stay tuned and reach out to us once you're ready to roll out your Setup and Go campaign. We look forward to supporting you and appreciate your time in walking through this toolkit with us. Thanks.